Hi, this is cybersecurity expert Reginald Andre, and today's message about cyber news is all about Mac computers. There's been a common misconception that Macs don't get viruses, and although that was probably true back in the 90s and early 2000s, that's definitely not the case anymore. And I actually want to read some statistics to let you know some numbers. This is from a company called A/B Test, and they're tracking the development of the macOS malware. So in 2011, there was 715 strains of malware, meaning there was different viruses and malware. There were 715. In 2013, 1,100. 2015, 32,000. 2017, 28,000, so it dipped a little. 2019, 57,000, and 2020, 665,248. That means that from 2011, which had 700 malware strains, that there was 700 viruses out there for Macs. Now in 2020, there's 665,248. So that tells you that Macs are and can get hacked. They can get viruses. And just to give you a little history, the reason why these numbers were lower before is because the majority of people had Windows computers. Windows and Microsoft, that was actually more popular than Mac, and it still is, but Mac has creeped up. And as things are going now more to the cloud, and programs are not needing to be installed on the computers, but everything is now Chrome-based or browser-based, it's now easier to purchase a Mac and use, your Salesforce, your Adobe, whatever the case is, on a Mac. You don't need to have a Windows PC anymore. And that's great because we've seen a lot of like CEOs and executives, they normally say, you know what, I have a Mac at home, it works great. It lasts, PC can last you from 3 to 5 years. Macs are lasting you 5 to 10 years. So although it's a little more money up front, it's a great investment in the long run. But you can't keep your guard down, and don't think just because you have a Mac and you're running Mac OS that you're protected, because you can still get viruses. And as those numbers that I read you there, just imagine 2021, as more people are buying Macs, it's going to go even higher because now it's the demand of Macs is out there, and it's getting very, very popular. So now let's talk about how do you ensure or how do you protect your Mac from not getting hacked, not getting a virus, not getting a malware. The first thing you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to do your updates, which is very similar to a Windows computer. When an update happens, when Apple realizes there's a bug in their system, there's a vulnerability in their system, what they're now going to do is send an update to the computer, and that way your computer receives it. So if you click on the top left and you go to the little Apple sign, and then it has an option that says About This Mac. And right there where it says About This Mac, that's where you can now do the updates, and you want to make sure that it's automatic. Now, as I mentioned, Macs can last, I've seen Macs 7, 8 years old going strong, and people are still using it. But Macs do have a vulnerability or an expiration of the operating system. And a lot of times Apple will no longer support certain operating systems, which means that it won't get an update. So even though your Mac is still working and running well, make sure that this operating system that you have is getting the proper updates. And if the operating system is old, then either upgrade the operating system, and sometimes Mac will actually stop a certain model from getting the latest operating system. And at that case, you should highly replace the computer. The next thing that you're going to want to do is put antivirus. This antivirus that you use, there's different companies out there, and you just want to make sure that it provides you the virus protection, malware protection, similar to what a Windows computer can do for you. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to replace your browser. So by default, Mac, they use what is called Safari, as you know. That's the default browser that comes with the computer. I highly recommend that you install Google Chrome. Google Chrome, that their job as a browser, the amount of research and development Google has spent on this browser is so much more, and it's so much more secure as opposed to the Safari browser. Although it's a great browser, but also sometimes there's compatibility issues. And Google Chrome is just so much more up to date. When there's a problem with a website, Google Chrome has features that lets you know, hey, this website you're going to is a phishing. They're trying to get your credentials. So definitely consider using Google Chrome instead of the Safari. And lastly is Keychain. Keychain is a password management tool. So I'm sure you're probably, if you're on your Mac and you're working, and now you have to go to a website, or you need to connect to a Wi-Fi or whatever the case is, all of that information is stored in what Mac calls as Keychain. And Keychain has vulnerabilities that if a certain malware, certain virus comes in to your machine, the bad guy can literally be able to get all your passwords that you store in Keychain. So you should definitely consider using something more secure, such as the password manager. There's plenty of ones out there, and with the password, with the secure password manager, it just adds extra layers of security and protects your password. So that's it. That's the tips that on how to protect your Mac. And again, just don't let your guard down just because you have a Mac. That doesn't mean that you're secure. Maybe back in 2011, the chances of you getting a virus was very slim, but now here in 2020, you have a higher chance of having your Mac be be hacked by viruses, hackers, and malware. So if you haven't already, if you stayed this long, please go ahead and hit the like button, and please also subscribe. Everything we do here is to give out information for the greater good of the community, to protect your businesses. So we really appreciate if you can go ahead and like and subscribe. And then that way, when we have our videos, you can get notification about them and be able to participate live. Put some comments in there and let me know that you're listening. And I'd love to have a conversation with you and answer any questions you have. Take care.